Ladies and gentlemen, on the station with the Attitude, Suppa Duppa Morning Show, and we are back. And yes, we are in the Christmas season, but we're also in election season as well, unfortunately. But we got to do it. We got to talk about it. And we do have Party for Progress here with us in the building. PFP, the new kids on the block. And we have two candidates here with us. We have candidate number 7.
Good morning. That's right. Number 7, Michael James.
Right here with us. And we have candidate number 8.
Super look-alike.
No, we do not.
Good morning, Sir Martin. This is Luciano Nicholls, candidate number 8.
AKA Super.
Oh, well. His bear connects.
Wow.
All right.
Maybe you're the older brother.
I don't know.
I fail to see the resemblance.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm on your side too, but I really don't see it.
No, I don't see resemblance, but I say maybe Pops going to do something on his head. Somewhere.
That's an interesting one.
Don't see it in the face, in the height, or the weight. None. Definitely.
There's literally no connection.
I feel like I'm on the
Even
weight.
complexion.
I mean, you know, I'm on that track when it comes to weight. So hopefully,
You gonna catch up to me? All right, no problem. So let's talk about PFP, of course, Party for Progress, the new party on the block. But I think for when it comes to you guys, maybe the pressure might be on a little bit more because of you guys are new to politics. I would say
that is 100% true. Even though I have, I guess through familial ties, I have been around politics for a while. This is the first time that I'm really in the mix like this. You know? So it is daunting. It is sometimes scary, but I am willing.
All right. What about you, Michael?
Well, as you said also, through familiar ties and from following politics, I have been involved in that sense. But first, I'm actually being in there. But, I mean, we can't forget that.
Okay.
So, at some point, no one was ever in politics. No one was born in politics. They have to start at some point.
Right.
So, I guess this is just our point to start also.
You guys said, you know what, let's take on that role right now, take on that challenge. Correct. So, what made you decide, you know what, yes, I'm going to do it, and what made you decide to do it together with PFP?
Okay, so, for me, I really had to think long and hard about this. I believe that those that have come before us have done us sort of an injustice. So what I tell people, and what I tell people especially that are in our age group, is that the future that we are looking at, and I can ask this question around the room, how much of you guys in this room feel like you can see a clear picture of the future for you here on St. Martin?
In terms of
just
what?
Just in terms of
government,
your future.
Personal.
Yes. And how government has a role to play in that future.
Oh, okay. If I had to see it based on government, it doesn't look like a very bright future.
You'll never get a clear picture.
Yeah. Personally, I could see, it's totally different, but yeah.
But the truth is, this future is our own. We must build this future for ourselves.
Correct.
Okay, I told my mother, I told my uncles, I spoke to them, I told them that this future is no longer yours. It is ours. Because we must be able to build this future for ourselves and for those who are coming behind us. And that is the reason I decided to run.
Okay. Now, how's the feedback been from your family? Because like you said, you come from, a family of that know about politics and whatnot. And it wasn't easy for them. And now seeing that, you yourself are getting into it, what was their feedback?
Generally positive.
Okay.
I didn't have much problems. When I had the meeting with them, everybody was like, Lucho, that's what they call me. That's a good move. My mother had her problems with it at the beginning.
Yeah, like any mother would.
Because of the climate, because of how dirty politics can be. But now, she's backing me 100%.
I want my son talking about his side chicks and
front chicks.
And what about you, Michael? What was the situation for you?
Well, the reason I joined politics is the same reason that I joined law enforcement. At some point, I came to realize that, and it's kind of funny, that bad people don't get tired of being bad. They never get fed up of being bad. They're consistently and persistently bad. They're just going to keep on going.
Listen, he dropped that jewel in the barbershop on Friday, right? And he had me thinking about that ever since. I can't even lie.
Bad people don't
get tired of being bad.
They're going to be bad no matter what. They're just going to continue being bad.
Okay.
And I joined law enforcement for that same reason, because I realized if we don't have good people to fight against these bad people, they're going to win ultimately, because they're not going to stop.
Okay.
But then I started to realize that it doesn't just stop at law enforcement. it goes to the leadership of the country. And I think over the last 9-10 years, it really hit me that they're just going to continue doing the same thing. They're just not going to stop. And if we don't have some kind of good in there to fight against them or to compete against them, they're going to win. And that's where the saying always comes up that I love: evil prevails when good persons do nothing. So to sit back and do nothing, I just could not do so. So when I heard about the launch of PFP, and I went to check them out, I heard them speak, then I met with them afterwards, their vision aligned with everything that I encompass or thought about for St. Martin. And what I like is the unity between them. It's no individual vision there. I mean, everybody have their own expertise, their own skill sets in different areas, which is beautiful, but collectively we form a unit. And what I like is, just because you may be better in something that I'm not in, I don't go against what you're championing. We all share that same vision. So whether it's education, whether it's the taxes, whether it's housing, whatever it is, we all share that vision, whether it's something I am good at or not.
Yes, there's a certain level of cohesion with the group. Something that I have noticed in St. Martin, and it was tough for us to put the group together because we were looking for a certain type of individual that fit the party's ideals. And what has been happening in St. Martin is that political parties generally pick people simply because they can get the most votes. But that doesn't lend well to a group, to a unit. It doesn't lend well to cohesion. And that's why when you go into parliament, there are now individuals with their own agenda. Okay? So we must have our collective, this is our agenda. The manifesto was written by us. Right? So with that cohesion, we can go into parliament and say we all holding the same head. And they can't pull us apart.
That's it.
Because like you said, a lot of times you see people go into parliament and then you see the infighting start because before elections everybody's a unit, everybody's a family, but there's no specific ideology. That's something definitely that we're lacking when it comes to politics here in St. Martin. So are you saying that PFP has an ideology? And what if you guys do have one, what is that ideology?
Well, I believe the overarching goal for PFP is to improve the quality of life for everyone here in St. Martin. For that, I believe we have 5, we call the 5 for the future. It is financial stability on all levels. It is better waste management, better infrastructure, and better environment for all. It is yes. We also have education, and then we also touch on things like healthcare and the last one is.
Please.
I got you. It's what's that? The engine makes sense.
Yes. So energy that makes sense. Okay. So we're looking at so those are the five areas that we have put together in our manifesto, and those are the areas that we are bringing forward to St. Martin.
And if I may add to that, one of the reasons why, one of the things I'm impressed with most of PFP is that we share something in common where we don't want to disappear. And by that I mean, during campaign time, you see every parliamentarian. You can talk with them, you can call them, they'll actually answer you. Our vision, our goal is that even if elected, when we're in there or not elected, we do not want to disappear. We are still going to be there. And another thing that I really admire about how we work is when we're making a decision for any department, we meet with the persons involved. If it's something pertaining to sports, for instance, we meet with the NSI. Something pertaining to health or whatever, we meet with those persons. We include the community in our decisions. Because at the end of the day, what we realize is, well, especially if we get in there, we work for you. So if we don't meet with you to understand your problems, the 5 ways to the future is beautiful. It's an overall goal of how we want to help someone get better. But at the same time, in conjunction to that, we want to meet with the community, meet with the people, meet with the
understand what their problems
understand what your problems are, understand what you're going through. Because maybe we could miss something. We're not perfect. So we need your feedback. We need your input also. And I love working like that because that's the intention, to work together with you to make a better St. Martin for you.
Now, Michael, you just talked about coming from a background when it comes to justice.
Yes.
So I'm sure that's something near and dear to you that I'm sure that you want to tackle, especially seeing with the issues that that we have now going on with the justice system when it comes to safety, public safety,
Yes.
when it comes to the prison situation,
Yes.
and also the wages, payments, and everything of the officers involved, customs and whatnot. How are you going to look into that? How is that something you're going to tackle?
Let me put it this way. Law enforcement officers work very hard. Carnival time, Christmas time, when everyone's enjoying holidays or even sleeping, we're out there working. It's not an easy task, but we do it. Again, if the good doesn't fight against the bad wins.
Mm-hmm.
And at this moment, maybe a lot of people don't know this, but officers are literally looking for overtime. They try to get overtime just to make a decent salary.
Mm-hmm.
Not to get excess to say they can save. It's just to make enough to survive and pay bills and have some kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
And an officer working that hard should not have to look to make overtime. Overtime should be something whereas if you're needed, I assist.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm off and I'm looking to come in because I need extra money.
Right.
That is a very, very bad thing. And the sad part is, it's regulated in the Rex Positie and what have you, that if they're placed on a proper scale, they will not need to do that because they will be being paid sufficient to survive. So that's definitely something I want to tackle to get that regulated. Again, I'm not reinventing the wheel. The wheel is there. It's just to get it implemented. So that is a process I would be looking into to make sure the officers are paid well because they work hard. They need to get paid. And for the justice system in general, I look at it as a body. If your entire body is functioning well, you will function well. But what happens when only your hand is working? Or maybe your body is functioning, but you have you ever noticed if one finger is hurting or off, how that throws you off?
Yeah.
Or if your toe is off, or if one part of your body is hurting, your entire body has to now compensate for that, and it throws you off. The idea is to bring every department in justice up to a level where they can say that we are functioning to a standard. Because sadly, every department is not functioning that way. The prison has their qualms, customs has their qualms, immigration, all of them. And I'm not saying that it's ever going to be perfect, but there must be a standard or a level that each department should at least be at, that we can see we have an effective justice system working together to combat every area of crime in St. Martin.
Now, how do you do this when the country is very limited with resources? And with resources, I mean basically with money,
It's funny. I was in a parliament meeting and I heard them say that they cut the justice budget by 4 million guilders. Why would you cut the budget for 4 million guilders to St. Martin? I think it goes back to negotiations, because I found out a lot that St. Martin is covering a lot of the costs for a lot of the Dutch officers that are here. And if you can get some kind of negotiations, we're hardly going to take up some of that burden for us, because at the end of the day, we still have ties to Holland.
Correct.
And as much as we appreciate their help, and we're not saying we want to pull away or anything, but we need to get assistance where assistance is needed. And there's a lot of strain we're taking on financially that we can negotiate and try and get that burden eased, so to speak.
Yeah. What about you, Lucho? I know education is very near and dear to you.
Yes, education is very near and dear to me.
And I saw on the website you talk about something called the STEAM, or
yes, it is called STEAM. It is an early STEAM curriculum. STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics. I believe that STEAM, early STEAM education in our schools will help our students to vie for the jobs of the future, because we are in a technology-based society, and we are moving ever faster and quicker towards new areas in technology. So it means that the job market is constantly moving. It means that we must educate our children from now to be able to handle those jobs of the future. And that's the reason why I'm looking at STEAM. Apart from that, St. Martin, when it comes to education, we are in a problem. I teach science and mathematics, GED science and mathematics at the university, and what I am noticing is that a lot of the students are lacking a foundation, whether it be reading and whether it be simple arithmetic. I believe that learning does start at home, but then how can a parent be able to really teach a child when that parent is never home? When you work 2 and 3 jobs, there is no way that you're going to have time for your child after that. So I believe that it is also the that we as St. Martiners, and they say a community must raise a child, that we as St. Martiners, especially government, we need to start looking into ways, intuitive ways, as how to help these children. Another thing that we need to look at is vocational education. That is extremely important, and it is something that has been put on the side for far too long. Right now, we have a situation, especially at the vocational training school, where it is now a dumping ground. We put everyone there, whether they are special needs or whether they are true vocational students. We need to have a distinction between the two. We need to be able to sort students, and then we need to also build a special needs high school.
Right.
You know, we need that so that we have a vocational students and special needs students. We also need to reassess foundation-based education. Has it been working? If it has not been working, why hasn't it been working, and how can we fix it? You know, these are the things that we really need to start looking into in education.
All right. We have candidate number 7, Mr. Michael James, and candidate number 8, Mr. Luciano Nicholls from Party for Progress, PFP, here with us this morning. Now, when you guys launched, you know, you got met with, you know, some praises, and, you know, people saw you as a, you know, breath of fresh air. But since the campaign has started, you know, you have been getting some critics here and there about how you guys have been campaigning, especially when it comes to the, you know, the posters and whatnot. You know, people thought that PFP said, because PFP said they were going to do things different, but then here they come now with posters just like everybody else. So you've been met with that critic.
Right.
What do you guys have to say about that?
You know, it is interesting how much criticism you can get for just a few posters. But truth be told, we are a brand new party. No one knows us. How much of you guys knew me before I decided to do this? There you go. Some people need to put a face to the person. And there are people who don't have an online presence, and the posters really do help them. I know I had a lot of people come to me and say, I didn't know you were on this party. Some of them don't even know what PFP is. I have gotten PDF, I have gotten PHP, I have gotten PPH, you know. So you need, I mean, eventually, I do believe that St. Martin can move away from that type of campaigning. But as it is right now, it is necessary. We're trying not to be too out there with super large posters, but people need to see who their candidates are. And that's the reason, that's what I tell people when they tell me that. We're a new party.
Okay.
And that's why also, if you saw a post online, the wood will be given back for recycling. And
correct.
Such. It's not just going to be going back to the landfill, so to speak. And what we are doing something different also. If you look at our posters, you'll see unity. You'll see us all on that poster.
Instead of individual.
Right.
That's why we
our
share
first
that united
poster
vision.
was everyone, the whole group.
Yes.
You know, I always believe that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So we are showing you that we are a unit.
It's a mathematician there for sure, boy.
Okay.
All right. Now let's talk about you know, elections are coming up, so people are definitely looking forward to the rallies, the T-shirts, Johnny Cakes, dollar. When I have ours.
We have a town hall meeting tonight at 7:00 at the
in town.
St. Dominic.
Oh, no.
It's a town hall. As if it's in town.
So we're not conducting the same type of rallies, you know, where one person just shouts at you. So we're having a town hall meeting tonight at the St. Dominic, I think the St. Dominic gym, from between 7 to 9. We're asking everybody from that area to come out and listen to what we have to say. I believe we do have a few T-shirts coming in, not much. So please do not run us down for a whole set of T-shirts. Other than that, that's about all the campaign material that we have, really.
Okay, because I know at the launch it was said that, you know, technically or actually the party was looking forward to run in 2022.
Right.
And now that elections are upon us, you guys have decided to, all right, let's take part in this election. Has that thrown you off in some type of way, or how has that been since?
Well, that is true. The intention was to prepare between now and 2022, get them the project turf and these things, get them going and get active for that period of time, and then run in 2022. However, unfortunately, government has fallen again, and then there were snap elections. And the board met together. We got a lot of encouragement to run this year, so we decided, no, let's go for it. Because again, like we said, the journey to 1,000 steps started with one. And we decided to take that step now.
Okay. All right. So PFP, Party for Progress, here with us in the building right now. We have Michael James, candidate number 7, and candidate number 8, Mr. Luciano Nicholls. And like you mentioned tonight, you will be having your town hall meeting at St. Dominic High School and 7 p.m. So you're inviting everyone in that area, so that's the South Reward area, Ebenezer and whatnot, to come on out. So elections will be going down on January 9th, whether you like it or not. What do you guys have to say about that individually and also as members of PFP to the public out there? Because you have a lot of people out there that don't want to vote. They're very, disenfranchised. They're disgruntled. They're upset. They're angry. They feel like elections are messing up their holidays. It's supposed to be a time where it's family and Christmas and whatnot. But now,
I in certain regards, I share their sentiments. I would rather be with my family during Christmas than having to be out campaigning. But this is what I have to say to them. If you are one of those people and you are disheartened in how St. Martin is running right now, if you are one of those people that you're actually treading water in life right now, hoping for a lifeline, I say to you that the Party for Progress is different. It is fundamentally different from everything that you have seen before. If we resonate with you, please lend us your support. And I say lend. I do not say give, because to give support means that you cannot take it back. Lend us your support.
It's a borrow there, right? Basically,
if at any time, you feel like we do not represent you anymore, or you feel like our ideals do not mesh with yours anymore, that support is yours to take back. And that is something we need to understand here on St. Martin, that we need to be able to take back support of the people who are in power, so that they understand that the power lies with the people and not with them. So lend us your support.
True.
Okay.
Spoken like a mathematician.
Sounds of it, right?
You borrow 2, lend from.
Carry the 1.
Carry the 1, and then you gotta give it back at the end of the equation.
Exactly.
You can subtract it. That's it. You have a whole equation in that one sentence. I like it. But for those persons who are there feeling that you don't want to vote, you're fed up, you're frustrated, because you've come across a lot of those persons, I'll say this, and I reiterate my first sentence: evil wins when good people do nothing. And as much as you may be frustrated, sadly, persons that are not frustrated are the ones who are going to vote ritualistically. So if you want to make a difference, if you want to change, if you want to see something different, vote something different. And as my partner here said, PFP will bring you something different. Give it a chance to prove that to you. And if you do not like it, you can take it back. But we take the challenge right now that we will do something different for St. Martin, because it's sad to see our young people going away to study, and when they come back, we're hearing that they're overeducated. You're hearing that they're overqualified. We can't have nothing for you. And I was at the pool the other day because I was assisting with a swimming class by Bel Air School, and I looked at all the young children there, and it hit me. These kids will have nothing to look forward to in the next 10, 15 years if we do not make a change today.
It must happen.
So on
today.
January 9th, help us to make that change for the young ones coming up.
But how can we guarantee that? Because we've heard it over and over and over. Also the fact that, listen, if we go in and we don't do what we promise you, hold us accountable, and that never happens. So how can we guarantee from PFP that this time around it's actually, legit? It's actually something true?
Well, that's a very good question. It does begin, and I really want to stress on the fact that before today, I have never seen a party operate as PFP has. The unity that we have, it is really strength in numbers. So with that alone, and with the way the type of individuals we have put together, the list that we have put together, it really shows something different here on St. Martin, and that's why I can say that we will do something different. Even if it is in opposition, we will champion your cause. Even in opposition. So that's the way I can say it. I can really see that we are different, and we can bring something different to St. Martin.
Now you did make a interesting statement just now, strength in numbers. But PFP right now, you guys are the smallest party running in this election with 8 members on the list. How does that strength in numbers compare to other parties who have maybe 12 or 13 or 23 or full slate?
I don't want to say what I want to say.
No, go ahead. Say what you
You want me to say, Phil?
then I will start off and you can finish me off on the show. The others may have, yes, 20-something, 12, whether we have 8. And I heard this analogy used by my grandmother, that if you poke someone with a finger, it will never be as strong as a blow as a fist. PFP may have 8 persons, but we're a fist. We're united, we stand together, and we share a common goal and vision. You could have seen it on the signature day. We were all there together. One thing they said when I first came in and met with them is that we don't do anything alone. We support each other to the max. If someone wants to speak to you, you have a meeting, call us at any time, we will come and give you support. And I tested that and it was proven. There was a morning, it was after 8 o'clock. I was speaking to someone to speak with them individually. And the person told me, well, I'm going to a class right now, and after the class, you can come and talk to the whole group of us for 9 o'clock. This was after 8 in the morning to go and speak to them for 9 o'clock. I sent a message to our guys, urgent, urgent, urgent. Literally, that was the message, urgent, urgent, urgent. I have a group to speak to. Who can assist me? And without fail, everybody wanted to come. They were like, okay, I'll be there. I can make it. I can pull this off. I'm going to see you. And then I was like, okay, I just need like 2 or 3. It's okay. But the support that we share is different. That's why even with the numbers of 8, because a lot of persons ask us, why do you only have 8 people? Why not fill up your seats? And that's the reason we don't want to fill a seat just to get votes. Because when you have a whole group of people that are single-headed and have their own individual goals, you don't have a strong team. That's that finger poking. When you have 8 persons that are together, that's a fist that can deliver a blow to make a difference.
Yeah, so basically it is quality over quantity.
Okay.
What he said.
Now, you mentioned, Lucho, about the opposition. You know, you will be glad to serve the people of St. Martin
in whatever capacity.
In opposition, if that's what you know the people come out and vote for. But another big question, because we've seen over the last couple of years, whenever it comes to elections, coalitions are always formed. What about PFP getting in a coalition? Because you guys are a team, and this fist might have to form with a couple of fingers, maybe depending on what happens after the night. So, are we fisting? Are we finger? You know what I mean?
Hey!
When it comes to a coalition,
You know that too coming, right?
Hey!
Coming too,
Not
right?
getting into
when
that.
it comes to a coalition, with the fists, team up with the fingers.
Listen, on the subject of coalitions, right now it is too easy. It is too early to make that decision. We truly must be in a position where we must be able to sit down, analyze who is actually in Parliament, and then we can make an educated decision as to who we plan. If it comes down to it that we have to form a government for St. Martin to move forward, we can make an educated plan where that is concerned. But I will not touch on coalitions right now because we still have a campaign to run.
So let's just put it into a situation right now that
Put you in a situation.
that coalition has to be formed. Is there any other political party out there that you would say, okay, you know what, your ideologies follow ours? I think we could work together when it comes to being in a coalition.
You see, the problem with fingers, it is who gets in. The party itself may have similar ideologies, but as we've spoken about before, individuals don't always have those same ideologies. So that's why it's very difficult to talk about right now.
So if you would have to say a party, it would be easier. But seeing how it is now,
if every party operated as PFP, then it would be much easier.
Okay.
But
Shots.
But the truth be told, when you're dealing with individuals, you really have to look at the individual. And for right now, we have no idea who is going to be in Parliament.
Okay. So I guess that would, we don't know that when that time comes.
Right.
To see who actually got in, who got the votes, and who we have to sit with to speak with.
All right.
We can't know that at this moment.
So we'll see who PFP
got a mask on.
Yeah.
There you go.
So we're going to see who PFP going to sign that napkin with. All right, interesting. Well, thank you guys for joining us in the studio again. Party for Progress, Mr. Michael James, candidate number 7 on the list, and Luciano Nicholls, candidate number 8 on that slate. And best of luck with you guys.
Thank you
very much.
I know this
Thank
evening you have your town hall meeting.
Yes.
So best of luck with that as well. Anything else you want to add when it comes to PFP?
Just please come out and support us. We need that support. If you want to see that change, then you have to support us. That is about as much as I want to say right now.
All right. But before you go, question of the day, Tiebreak Tuesday. Christmas is around the corner. So we want to know, are you buying or setting up a Christmas tree this year?
Yes. I may be on the campaign trail, but at least I should have some sort of a Christmas.
Okay. What color tree is green?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what other colors?
I don't know. You know,
I've seen white trees, blue trees.
White trees.
Have you ever seen a white tree in nature?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it is covered in
snow. No, but you see.
Artificial white
No,
tree.
he's saying nature. He's saying nature.
Oh, in nature.
There's a couple of trees when you light it and then the ashes.
I also like I like real trees, so it'll be a green.
No, because you know around this time people are very particular when it comes to colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Well, this is a dark.
And you the one talking about you putting up a green tree.
It's a dark green. It's a
forest
dark
green. Forest,
Yes.
not lime.
Green.
Forest green.
Different shade of green.
What about you, Michael?
Most definitely. I will be having a tree. Most times we have two. One for
What?
inside and one for outside.
Okay, Dad.
All right.
I want big.
Trees are
So only one tree got a
You
seat.
sure you working?
Only one tree got a seat.
You sure you working in justice?
That's what I said.
2 trees. That where the money gone.
Nobody can get a salary.
But thank you guys for joining us once again.
Thank
Best
you,
of luck in the campaign trail. And,
Thank you for having us.
January 9th, it goes down.
Yes.
Let's see what the outcome is going to be. Thank you again, guys.